evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 6. It is round number 15, and we head to a double header in Sakhir International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's held race since 2004, and it became a night race since the hybrid era started in 2014, one of the circuits designed by Herman Tilke. The track is 5.4 kilometers long, 15 turns, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, with 3 DRS zones, 1 at the start finish straight, 1 between turn 3 and 4, and 1 between turn 10 and 11. And this is going to be a duel of the desert between Mata and Carl tonight, where possibly Mata could become a champion, but we will go through a little bit about that later on. So, driver standings. I'm actually going to press spectate because they could go through driver standings whilst they ready up anyway. So, Mata is leading with 261 points. If Carl outscores Mata by 6 points, then he'll go to the final race. If not, Mata is champion. Pete is 3rd, Glock is 4th, Ryan Berry is 5th, Brandon is 6th, Red Matt is 7th, Iceman is 8th, J-Luke is 9th, Acorn is 10th. Then we got M. Ryan in 12th, Whiskey in 13th, Yuri in 14th, Tony in 15th, Ahmed in 16th, Niels in 17th, Cav in 18th, New Garden in 19th, Lee in 20th, and Panos, who got some good points last time about, in 21st place. Constructors. It's pretty much all said and done really, because Blue will need to get all their cars in the top 4 in order to keep the fight open to Brazil, and if that doesn't happen, Yellow will be champions by the end of tonight. Green in 3rd position on 379, 4th is Pink with 307, and last is Red with 227. So this is going to be very, very exciting. Plenty of duels as well in the desert that happened before with the likes of Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton in 2014. It was one of the most known battles on this circuit, and what strikes to me with this circuit, it is a power circuit. And low downforce is really, really key down the multiple on DRS straights. But there's also some very tricky corners that require higher wing angles. So there's plenty of runoff areas that people could use potentially around this track, which could make things even more exciting. In real life, the drivers had to contend with the wind and also racing under the floodlights. And imagine how many floodlights there are on the circuit that the marshals have to put up. There's tons. There's tricky corners that people have to contend with tonight. The downhill off camber turn 10 left-hander, and there's a fast run through turn 12, which is another highlight as well. Now, as you know, there were 2 rounds of the championship last season, one of which was held at the outer layout, where we saw Sergio Perez take his first victory. He would have thought it after he had an incident at the first lap, which kind of showed me, I was kind of mixed feelings really, because I wanted George Russell to win, but he was struck with really bad luck. But it was nice to see a different person on the top step, and also some Lance Stroll and also Esteban Ocon on the podium too. So should be interesting tonight in terms of permutations. Now, I did do some permutations. I've got the permutations right in front of me on what could potentially happen as well. So without further ado, let's go straight to qualifying. Now, it is one shot qualifying today, as normal. So they only have one chance around this circuit. Plenty of place where you can invalidate the infamous turn 4, where we saw Max Verstappen go off with Lewis Hamilton this year. He was forced to get the position back, give the position back to Lewis Hamilton in a DRS straight of turn 10 and 11. Some people argued that was wrong, some people argued that was right. But personally, I thought that was the right thing to do. But Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, the battle was quite amazing, I have to say. But anyway, there was lots of other things that happened in Bahrain. We saw Jenson Button took one of his first podiums, actually. In 2006, Raikkonen had a good recovery drive. He was eliminated in Q1 after suspension failure. He started last. And with a mix of strategy and loads of overtaking, he finished in 3rd place behind Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. And actually, 2006 Bahrain Grand Prix was the first appearance of Nico Rosberg. And we all know 10 years later, Nico Rosberg won the Drivers' Championship. So, yeah, which is really, really good. And Alonso, first one in Ferrari in 2010. Who remembers that? Ferrari is starting to get a lot better in terms of handling. Remember Carlos Sainz in Monaco got P2. That was pretty good, wasn't it? So I'm sure that we could see some prizes tonight. So let's go on board with Brandon. Under the lights, the cars definitely look pretty cool around here. So let me just get my telemetry up as we head towards turn number 1 then. Clipping that right apex, you're going to be around about second gear through here. Go to the right here and then move to the left as you go to the kink of turn 3. And then heading towards turn 4. A common overtaking slot. Now you go towards the start of the second sector. Coming up soon. Past turn 4 into turns 5 and 7. The downforce you put on the car comes into play here. And you only need to dab on the brakes going down to 5th gear for turn 6 and 3rd gear into turn 7 here. After turn 7, swing immediately to the left and brake just before you top out 6th gear. Turns 9 and 10, heavy braking zone, one of the hardest on the circuit. Need to get a good line to avoid running off the circuit. Clip the curves on the left. Turn 12, it's flat out in qualifying. Although, I would recommend feathering the force within the race to save your front left tyre, because otherwise it is going to overheat just a little bit. Approaching turn 14, it's effectively one corner, 90-degree left-hander. 200 miles per hour around here. And this is one of the back straights. No DRS is through here. As you head towards the final corner. And we're going to see what lap time Brandon is going to set. And it's a 125.2 for our championship leader, who could win tonight if he technically outscores Kyle. But Brandon is in 12th position. He gets 3 choice of tyres today. So here are your qualifying results. We've got Mata in first, Panos in second. That's quite a big shock actually as well. I'm a bit excited to see this actually. Nice to see a change near the top. Carl in third. That's not where he wants to be if he wants to take it to the final round at Bahrain short. Ahmed in fourth. Risky in fifth. Pete in sixth. Iceman in seventh. Neil's in eighth position. Newgarden in ninth. M. Ryan in 10th. Then we got Red Matt, Brandon, Tony and Akon. Only 14 drivers tonight, but do not worry. That doesn't mean we're going to have some battles, because every time there's battles around here, it's always in Bahrain and it's always a classic. Now, Kyle, Mata and Glock, if Glock was here tonight, of course, would be doing the 2 stops. So both our championship contenders are on the 2 stops. So and it is an even playing field for them. And it's quite hard to tell really what the best 2-stop strategy is. But you can technically do ideally soft, medium, medium. But some people have tried soft, medium, soft around here. Don't know how they do it, but they just do. Have one person that has wet tyres ready. Don't know why, but there we go. So the 3 compounded tyres that we got in today's race. We got the C4s, which last 10 laps for the softs. The C3s, which are the mediums, that last 15 laps. And the hards, which are the C2s that last 18 laps. And the 1-stop strategy, probably soft to hards, I would say, or medium to hard. So most likely people will be doing the 2-stop anyway, but we'll find out in due course. Now, going through permutations. It took me a while to figure out these, but it was much easier than the stuff I got to do on Monday for another league where I've got to figure out permutations for 7 different drivers, but for the final round. But anyway, this is a lot easier, luckily, because we only got 2 drivers in it. So, if, like I said earlier, if Mata finishes ahead of Kyle, he's champion, no matter what. If Kyle wins the race, Mata needs to just finish second or higher. If Kyle wins with the fastest lap, it goes to the final race. So if he gets, so basically fastest lap gets an extra 2 points. So first place gets 25 points and second, and then fastest lap with an extra 2 points, that'll be 27 points. So that's more than enough for it to take it down to the final race if needed for Kyle. If Carl finishes second, Mata needs to finish first, third or fourth to become champion. If Carl finishes second with fastest lap, only first will crown Mata the champion, the title. If Carl finishes third, Mata needs to finish first, second or fourth to be champion. If Carl finishes third with fastest lap, Mata will need to finish first, third or fourth to be crowned champion. If Carl finishes fourth, Mata needs to finish first, second, third, fifth or sixth to be champion. And if Carl finishes fourth with fastest lap, only first, second, third or fifth for crowning champion. And if Carl finishes fifth, Mata needs to finish first, second, third, fourth, sixth or seventh. If Carl finishes fifth with fastest lap, only first, second, third or fourth would crown him champion. I would go on more the permutations, but I would be here all night. And I know you want to have some racing, so we're going to get into some racing. So let us know in the chat. Do you think the champion is going to go, well, the championship, is going to go down to the final race? I hope it does from a commentator's perspective, but you never know. And I'd just like to say apologies for the stream starting late today. My PSN decided to not play ball. It locked me out of my account. So I had to change my password and all that. So it wasn't good. But luckily, it's all sorted. We got a stream. Hunky-dory. But anyway, looking at the tyre choices. The top 11. They're on the softs. Obviously, the top 10, they had to start on the softs. Red Matt, the only one, the people outside the top 10 has chosen the soft compounder tyres. Now, if they were to start on the soft compounder tyres, 7 to 9 would be the first pit window if they were to do soft, medium, I would say. And then the second pit window, lap 15 to 17. Now, it's a bit of a push to get that, do the soft to hard strategy. But it can work. Because we have seen in many Bahrain races the amount of safety cars that happened. We've seen it in real life as well. I think it was in Sakhir last year, actually, where it happened as well. And less than half of the races held at Britain International Circuit have been won from pole, and just 7 of the 18 races at the track have been won from the very front of the grid. So, also a very stat towards Mata, but he's definitely where he needs to be right now. And we only got, let me just have a look. We got all blue tonight. So we've got Panos, we got Carl, we got Emrine, and we got Risky. So yeah, we have got all the blue. So if we get a blue 1, 2, 3, 4, the Constructors' Championship will go to the final race. If there isn't a blue 1, 2, 3, 4, then Team Yellow will be crowned Constructors' Champions. And the Team's Championship definitely means that anything in terms of racing. So we're about to get started then under the lights. We've seen so many good races over the years. And don't forget, a German driver has been on pole at 7 of the 17 Bahrain Grand Prix held since 2004. Will we see a German win tonight? Only one way to find out. We're just waiting for Tony and Akon to make their way onto the grid. Interestingly, that only 3 people are on the mediums. A bit intrigued, but there we go. So, someone just saying in the chat there's no lead, so there won't be a safety car. Interesting. I don't know what to think about that, but I'm a commentator, so I have to be impartial. But we're about to go racing then. It's going to be a long hold. And finally, the lights go on. 4 lights, 5 lights. Who's going to get the better getaway out of Mata and Panos? It is lights out. And away we go. Good start from Mata. Good start from Kyle. Ahmed has dropped a little bit as they head towards turn 1. Will people try to go free of breaths there for the gamble? People are going to try to, at least as well, to the blue cars going side by side. And the blue cars are doing very, very well as they head towards turn 2 and 3. Almost being pushed off the track there, which is not very good, but it's Mata that still leads. Iceman's dropped down into 5th position. Ahmed's dropped down to 6th. We've got Iceman, unfortunately, that's lagging a little bit, which is not ideal. But actually, no, it's Newgard, not Iceman. My bad. But anyway, Brandon's dropped down to 14th. But everyone else has got away clean. Let's see what Iceman can do. Iceman's going to go round the outside of Risky. Risky holds on to the inside. It's going to be very, very tight then as they head towards a heavy braking zone. Almost a bit of contact there as well as they head towards turn 11 and 10 and 11, sorry. Iceman, Dylan Hulkenberg, see you later, but hang on. We've got the blue car, Risky trying to cut back. Red Matt as well goes to the left-hand side of the circuit as they head towards the, what I call, understeery central, which I think it is personally, as they head towards turn 13 and 14 now. Back straight they come then. Matt's only pulling away by 4/10, but Panos is already out of DRS range of Kyle. Now I wonder if the Team Blue members will be helping out their compatriot of Kyle tonight, as Pete has been passed by Niels. And unfortunately we do have the timing glitch right now, but we can see Red Matt, who is already doing a move without DRS. A fair play to him as they make their way towards turn 1. And I think he just edges Panos ever so slightly. Red Matt is more consistently faster on pace in terms than Panos. Maybe Iceman could take advantage of this, maybe, or not. Red Matt is stuck in a Team Blue sandwich, which should be interesting. And let's see what people can do. Hopefully, I think the timings will get fixed soon, but luckily there's no lap free, which is really good. And I think we're going to see a good scrap under the desert as well for this. And don't forget, if Kyle finishes where he is, he won't do enough. He's got to make sure Mata finishes low down on the grid in order to make this happen. So I believe Mata will need to finish 5th or lower in order to become champion, in order for Kyle to take it down to the final race. But you never know, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. We've seen that with Perez last year, Sakir Grand Prix. Here comes Brandon on Tony on the back straight of all places. We're starting to get some DRS trains then, but let's jump back to the front then. DRS now enabled soon. Here comes Kyle. He tries to go around the inside. Couldn't quite make it stick. But he's going to have the DRS coming into the straight, so maybe it might all be worth it. He'll be too further back at the moment to go for the charge. But he knows that anything counts around here. Oh, and Iceman spun! Iceman spun and he's lagging as well, which is not good. He's dropped down into 12th position. It would have looked like to be a very good move. And we do have a, is it a safety car? I can't tell if it's a safety car or not, because the boards, I'm not seeing any yellow bits on the left, unfortunately. So I think it is. I'm just looking at the boards now. It may just be a VSC. There's not many boards around there, so there's no safety car waiting, so I'm guessing it is a VSC. Yes, it is a VSC. I was right. It's annoying that the game has that. So they can't overtake, don't forget, and they've got to keep to a certain delta, because otherwise they will have a drive-through penalty, just like Akon did. And unfortunately, I did commentator's cursing. Meanwhile, Risky took advantage of the safety car there, and Risky's up to 5th. Aminy's going to go to the right-hand side line of the track. But Risky covers him off ever so slightly into 14. But is Risky going to fight back? He's like, no, you're not having that position. We got Kyle Mata as well for the lead. This could be championship material for Kyle. Still going side by side. Who's going to have DRS? It is no one, I don't think. So no one has got DRS out of that, but Mata fights back. This reminds me of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton this year. They're still going side by side into turn 5. Kyle has to concede, unfortunately, though, which is not what he wanted. Akon and Iceman. Well, Iceman has gone into the pits. Akon, I believe, has gone to serve his drive-through, which is why he saw a pit window come for him. And this is not a DRS straight where we see the overtakes, but will we see it on Kyle? There's just so many battles happening at the moment. Panos up to 3rd. Red Matt is up into 4th position. This is why I like Bahrain. So many intricacies and strategies that could possibly go on here. And it's very fitting that VSL ends in Bahrain twice. Mata a bit late on the brakes there. This may have helped Carl a little bit. Low downforce is required, but you really need a straight line speed on the straights. But like I said earlier, you got to get the balance right. So we got Carl using his overtake. Both of the drivers doing the dummy. So Mata almost caught Kyle there. I wonder what that would have worked. Now Niels has gone into the pits for his first stop. So I'm almost certain that the ones on the softs, it is going to be a 2-stop strategy, because where else would it be? I don't think it wouldn't be a 1-stop. So Niels goes onto the softs again. Here comes Newgarden going side by side with M. Ryan. And I think Newgarden edges it. Newgarden is still battling. They touch a little bit. Brandon is right in the background. Brandon's up into 10th position. Going through turn 6 and 7. Newgarden is lagging a little bit on the stream. So if you see him teleporting all over the place, then that's probably why. I had the same issue in another race in Bahrain a few weeks ago, and it was not pretty at all. So will the front runners come into the pits? We'll wait and see. So the train is going from 1st to 4th right now. And nobody's got any penalties yet. Tony's gone on the hards. Now Tony is going to hope for a late safety car for him to be going back into this race. So what's going to happen with Carl then on this straight? Will they both go in? No, they both stay out, which it is to be expected. Carl has a DRS, but he has less DRS though than Mata, I believe. Mata's on 63% of DRS, so I think ideally it's advantage Mata, which does help, I think. But Carl wants to show that he can fight for this championship. Goes to the left-hand side. Mata comes off to the right. They still say side by side. Newgarden's unfortunately retired in the pit lane. Unfortunately, his internet not playing ball tonight, so he's called it quits, which is fair enough. Who wouldn't want to race with these conditions, in the internet conditions playing you down? So it is, to be honest, to be expected. So let's go off board shot for the minute. Panels is doing very well, keeping up to Kyle, but I wonder if Panels is not going to fight this one, knowing that Kyle's got a championship, whereas Panels hasn't. Now, there wasn't any stewards reports last week, which is good to see. Almost risky, almost went to the back of Ahmed there. More risk being played, but if you have nothing else to fight for, why not take the risk? There's only 2 more races to go of this VSL championship. There's still many positions to be won in the standings, really. Even if you don't win the title, the drivers could have some personal goals that they could be having. Or I would like to finish 5th or 6th or something. So here we go then. Let's see what they could do as Kyle goes into the pit lane. But let's watch this battle between Risky and Pete and Ahmed. One that will have to back off ever so slightly, but they're still going to go for it. Ahmed is letting these two battle behind him. And Brandon going side by side with M. Ryan as well. This is very nail-biting stuff here. Brandon stays ahead. Brandon, you can see on the red light at the back of the car, he was running out of ERS, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame for him. But that will allow M. Ryan just to catch up ever so slightly. Now, the most important thing with Carl going into the pits for his first stop, Panos is not in DRS range anymore of Mata, which means Mata can have some clear air and it will all be worth it. Unless Panos gains within DRS now, which he does. So Red Matt, 5 tenths behind Panos now. He could sense the podium in his sights if he gets past him. Team Pink not been doing well the last few races, but I'm sure Red Matt will hopefully turn the tide. He hasn't attended many races in the last few rounds, but I'm sure he's determined to make an impression nonetheless. As Red Matt goes into the pit, speaking of that. Is anyone else going to follow him suit? I won't be surprised if Ahmed does. No, he does not. Risky comes in. Pete comes in. They're going side by side in the pit lane. Luckily, no damage is there. So we're going to look at the tyres. So Red Matt is on the mediums. So is Pete Knighton. Or Speed Knighton. And everyone else who's pitted just now is also on the mediums. So Kyle is ahead, but Red Matt has gained quite a bit. Just a little bit. I wonder if Kyle's undercut works. So I wonder if Mata is regretting this. And Kyle's got to think, right, what tyres could go on to the end? Will you have enough softs? I think Kyle will go on the softs at the end. Just so he could try and go for fastest lap. And the gap is still stretching out to Panos. But we got to keep an eye on the gap between Kyle and Mata. That's the important thing now. So let me have a look. Gap. The gap is 21.4 seconds. And let me just check the pit lane loss. Around 22.5. So Kyle is just going to get Mata on track by about 1 second. So Mata needs to get a move on, and as I said that, he comes in. So Mata comes in to the pit lane, and I believe Panos follows him in as well. So where is Kyle then? Kyle's coming towards the final corner. It's going to be so tense to watch if you're rooting for either one of those drivers, but Kyle comes across the line. Where's Mata? It's going to be a run towards the line. Let's see what happens. Kyle just edges Mata there. And Kyle takes the lead of this race by, let me just have a look at the gap, 1.7 seconds. Kyle has gained massively with that undercut. And now Mata is under pressure from Red Man, which is danger territory, I gotta say. So Red Matt could be the nail in the coffin for some of these drivers, because Red Matt could decide on whether this championship goes to next week, Bahrain short, or does it go to Mata tonight? If Mata wins the championship tonight, he would be a double champion because he won last season as well. I was not expecting him to do it this season as well, but if he does, it will be a mega achievement, but it's going to take a long way because at the moment, Carl's in the net race leader, and the person who's got the fastest lap so far is Red Matt. So at the moment, Mata will be champion because Carl does not have fastest lap, I believe. So I will keep you updated with the permutations as it stands, but obviously it will all become very, very clear once everyone pits. Now Panos is doing the one stop, it looks like, but I'm not sure if it gets to the end of the race, but we'll find out. I'm almost certain that Brandon and Akon will be going on to the hards because they started on the medium compounder tyres. Neil's as well on the softs. He's going to try and get track position. Softs overheat very quickly in the desert. It hardly ever rains here. So if Neil's doesn't get a move on, then the advantage that he has on the softs will be wiped out in just a couple of laps. We do have a yellow flag. That is a team yellow card. That is Pete. Pete has spun into turn 7 and 8. That is not ideal. A bit of a tank slapper from him. And that's forced him in 11. But don't forget, top 12 still gets you points here at VSL F1. And if you get fastest lap at any position, you do get an extra 2 points. And for Kyle and Mata, whoever gets it, it's very, very important. Because it could decide everything. So on lap 11 now, Risky is going side by side. A lot of drivers actually going for battles on the back straight. And Risky trying to break the cheeky slipstream, but Amit gets past. Meanwhile, Mata and Redmat having a battle. This could be huge. Mata doesn't want to let Redmat pass, but Mata has a DRS. Can he get the lunge into turn 4? He's going to go for around the inside. Inside, outside, everywhere. I don't know what you call it, but Mata got the edge over Redmat. Perfectly executed that move. And Mata is up into third, so that's probably going to be a relief for him, but it's not over Redmat without any stretch of the imagination. Only one driver has got a penalty thus far, and that is Risky. Redmat has got the DRS open. Let's see what Redmat could do. Again, not many moves being made. The only moves that have been made in this corner was without DRS in turn 1, so it just shows how badly the dirty air plays havoc in your race. Not as much as other tracks. I know Spain, when I raced in there last week, Spain was absolutely horrible for the dirty air. I wonder how the drivers are feeling about the dirty air in Bahrain. Hungary could be a big factor at dirty air as well, potentially. As Redmat's not winning DRS and Mata now, so Mata could just concentrate on catching up to Kyle. I wonder who's the fastest out of those two at the moment. Amit now gets past Risky once again. Risky has the DRS though, so maybe it's just strategic gains for Risky. I do believe, I'm looking at tyres, they will have to stop one more time, unless it's a safety car. Risky does not go for the late lunge this time. He decides to play it safe. But with Bahrain Short coming up next week, there's going to be a lot more DRS trains, and I think there's going to be people that are going to be hesitant to make moves. And I think if one person blinks next week and makes a move, then there will just be like a chain reaction. I wonder we'll see something similar going into turn 1 for some of these drivers. Again, Risky not quite close enough. Same with Pete on the back of M. Ryan. And only one person out of the ones that are racing at the moment does not score points. So an extra added motivation, as if you like, on people to do very, very well. So let's see what Mr. Knighter could do as he tries to break free. Neil's in the pits for his final stop. And he's on to the mediums, which I think should get until the end of this race. So as it stands, Team Yellow will be the Constructors' Champions. As it stands, because Carl has not got the fastest lap yet, Mata would be the Drivers' Champion. So both titles could be decided tonight. Which means if it happens tonight, then next week's race, it's like a bit of fun at the end of the day. It's more about the drivers giving it their all, as it were. So Niels gets a penalty now. So 2 drivers. Oh, I'm quite surprised actually. I thought more drivers will be getting penalties by now, but it just shows how good these drivers are and how some of these drivers have been practicing. Mata not being able to bring the gap down to Kyle, but Redmat has closed down to Mata, which is danger, danger, high voltage, as it were. And at least they don't have to worry about the weather here in Bahrain. Almost said Abu Dhabi there, as Brandon pits for the hards. She can't go on soft. Soft don't make it to the end. He's doing a 1-stop. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to everybody else who may be yet to stop. So you can see 2 of the team blue cars as well, and the team pink car in the process. And yellow as well. Look at that big DRS train. Akon does exactly the same. And Akon is now up into 12th position. Iceman just having a bad time, but at least he's still in this race. And the pit window will be happening very, very soon for another set of the mediums or maybe the soft tyres. 15 to 17 for the mediums. Around about lap 18, 19 for the softs. So the question is, the ones that started on the softs, which tyres will they go on to? Would they want to go for the play it safe approach, or would they want to be fast at the end and go on softs? But we've seen how powerful the undercut is. We saw that with Kyle, who took the advantage over Mata, and he still is right now. At the moment, Kyle is doing everything he needs to do, apart from getting the fastest lap. And the fastest lap so far belongs to Redmat with a 1:29.5. Kyle is not that far behind. He's faster than Mata at the moment, though. And you can see, we're going to watch Brandon and Ahmed then, side by side into turn 1 and 2. Keeping it very tight and not leaving much space at all. There was a bit of contact from Ahmed. Ahmed could be doing a double overtake here as they head towards turn 4. Someone's got to back out shortly. This could end in tears. Hopefully not. As they head towards the end of sector 1 now, heading towards turn 5, they're still going side by side. But Brandon held up Ahmed just a little bit. But look at this, Ahmed is going to fight back. Late on the brakes goes Brandon. Ahmed, but Ryan, my oh my, they're still going at it. It's like, well, I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of, but someone has gone late on the brakes. Unfortunately, that is risky. Could they be going side by side once again? This is the battling that we've been looking for. Ahmed a little bit too further back, but Ryan could seize this. He's like, right, if you can't get past Brandon, I know that I'm potentially faster than you, and I could get that move. But my oh my, that was insane, I've got to say. Keep up this battling, lads. But here comes Risky. No, there's Pete. Pete up into 7th position. But Ryan saying, no, you're not having none of that, Pete. You're not having 7th position. Gonna go side by side here. Risky in the pit as he picked up damage, but we'll look at that in a second. Ryan goes into turn 1, but look at this, Pete to the right hand side line. Perfectly done. Pete, I've got to say, that's amazing. Pete's up into 6th position. He almost lost a position there, but luckily he didn't. And where is Risky? So Risky's on the 7 mediums. I believe that's a strategy call, but correct me if I'm wrong here. So Pete has stretched the gap a little bit to Ahmed, but Brandon is the lead of this train and has stretched the gap a bit to Pete. And every point counts, especially in these last 2 races, because no team wants to be last in the constructor standings. Nobody wants to. So for somebody's team, they're just aiming to not be last. Whereas for Blue, at least they're trying to fight for the championship. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Team Yellow are going to snitch it. Well, they've got the lead all season, so they're not going to, not snitch, snatch it away, sorry. They're going to keep it forever and ever, which will be good news for all of the team members involved. Let's see if there's any battles happening. Ryan doesn't go for the lunge this time. Ryan stays in 8th position. Tony could jump up into 9th, but it does depend on the amount of penalties people have got. Everyone's on 3 except Niels is on 5. Ryan gets past Ahmed up into, or maybe Emrine could have a late lunch. Wow, Ahmed. Ahmed, that was amazing, I have to say. Emrine, I could tell by the way Emrine was driving there. Emrine did not expect that at all. And I think Ahmed has got to learn that he is the best right now out of Emrine. He's got to believe in himself. But Emrine, I won't be surprised if Emrine just goes for a move at any moment. Emrine, I know, likes to take some risks. And if he wants to take a risk, maybe he could take some risks at this back straight here. So let's see what Emrine is going to do. Oh, very late on the brakes there. There's some corners where you can go late on the brakes, but when you're following another car, you have to brake slightly earlier, and you got to know when the driver is about to brake, because they'll probably be reacting to what you're doing behind as Emrine gets past Ahmed once again. And look at the gap to first. It is dropped from 1.5 to 6/10 per second. Mata wants this championship, and he's not going to do... Well, he's basically going to do everything he can to stop Kyle from taking it all the way down into Bahrain short. But I have to say, these two have won multiple races this season and have been in the top few places for a majority of the season. And to be honest, they've been deserving to fight for this championship. We still won't know what the outcome is gonna be. As it stands, Mata will be champion because Carl would need to take fastest lap in order for it to go down to the final race if it stays like this. And even if Carl wins, Mata needs to finish 5th in order for Carl to take it down to the final race. Actually, no, 3rd or even 3rd or lower. So if Redmat gets past Mata, which doesn't look very likely at the moment, then it could go down to the final race. I will be doing some maths, do not worry, between the top two, just in case I get a little bit confused. I know some of you drivers would want to keep up to date as Cam's predicting rain is going to come. But it doesn't rain really in Bahrain. I wonder if they're going to patch it in the game next season. Has anyone tried a race in the rain in Bahrain? If so, let us know. In dynamic weather, of course. I kind of wish it was rain in Bahrain in real life. Someone could just like turn the sprinklers on or something. But we don't have long to go until the end of this race. And Pete is going to launch the attack on Brandon. I have to say, Brandon has had a really good race so far. Don't forget, he doesn't have to stop again, and he started near the back of the grid. And Mata and Kyle will still need to stop one more time. Even though Redmat doesn't need to do the 2 stop, those tyres won't make it. So Redmat will need to stop, Pete will need to stop, Emrine will need to stop, and Ahmed will need to stop. Niels, I don't think will need to stop again. So Mata on the attack. He's in within DRS range now. Literally, Mata could just stay behind and try and get fastest lap. But if you want to steal fastest lap away from Carl, you got to launch an attack. You can't just be like this the whole time. So I wonder if Mata would take the gamble. Because champions really have got to take gambles around this circuit. And who knows what these drivers will be like in next season when we go to F1 2021. Next season. Now, the beta, the people that have got the beta, they've found out that they got the beta this week. So a big congratulations to those of you that got the beta. I'm very, very excited to see what comes in store for that. But anyway, we have got Mata that stays out. Kyle Pitts. Oh, that could be very costly for Kyle, but... Mata, I mean, sorry. But Kyle's going to be on the softs. He's going to be on the faster tyre. So this is crucial for Kyle. Kyle must not get stuck in traffic. Red Matt is also pitting as well. He's on the softs. Pete is on the going on the softs as well. Will Ryan stay out? Yes, he does. Neil stays out. Ahmed pits. So a bit of a mixed strategy. Kyle still stays in third place. And we're going to look at the gap to leader then. 22 seconds. And the delta between the softs and the mediums, if I just have a look, is 5 tenths of a second. You gain 5 tenths per lap on the guys in front. So the gap's 21.2. The pit lane loss is around about 22.5. So if Carl could just keep clawing the gap like that, then Carl will be comfortably ahead once again. So Carl's done his 2-stop. Mata will need to do his 2-stop, or will he have to be forced to go again? Mata had to really go into the pits, didn't he? And I wonder if M1 will be doing exactly the same. But let's watch Kyle. Luckily, he's not in any traffic, so it's not affecting him at all. 20.7. So Matt's in the pits now. So let's see what happens. So Panels will be in the lead of this race. Will Kyle come out ahead? It's going to be tight. It's going to be oh so tight. Has to head towards turn 1. And I think it's the same gap as it was last time. Around 1.5 seconds. After the pit stop phase it is. So it just shows how powerful the undercut is. It's actually 1.9. 2 seconds. So Kyle must be absolutely loving life right now. So I have to say, I think if you're looking at Mata, then Mata, I've had a think about it. He thought about pitting, but then he was like, I don't know. But he's probably regrets it now. But you never know what could happen. We could see a late safety car. We could see someone spinning into a wall, which I hope doesn't happen here, as Ahmed and Risky go side by side. A bit of a tap there. Redmark gets past Brandon on the softer and fresher tyre, so Redmark's up into 4th. M. Ryan is up into 10th. So the softs are becoming better, but will they last until the end? Because the Ultimate Pace will lose out pretty quickly. So they got to manage their tyres effectively. They also got to manage their ERS effectively too. 1:28.1 is the fastest lap. Whoa, this could be everything for the championship. If Kyle keeps the fastest lap, Kyle would take the championship to the final race. And that is all we've ever wanted. But it is far from over. I know Mata is pushing. The gap is starting to close down. And we know Mata wants that fastest lap so badly. He was faster than Carl in qualifying, I believe. Let me just have a look. Position changes. So, yeah, Mata started on pole. Kyle started 3rd. So I think it was Mata, Panels and Kyle. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a switcheroo each lap on who's going to get fastest lap. And it's going to be like the real life race where the battle is so close for the win. I wonder if the ERT boys are getting nervous now for their man, because they know that if it stays like this, Kyle could do it if Kyle could get past Panos. But Mata's got the fastest lap, so hearts are broken at the moment, but to be honest, you can't go for fastest lap every lap. So some people would be saving. Mata's out of ERS. Almost, so is Kyle. Panos has got plenty. It would be great if Panos actually goes on to win this race. How many penalties has he got? 3. So I'm just checking the delta between the softs and the hards. That is 8 tenths per second. So I wonder if Carl's going to do enough to actually close in on Panos, or I wonder if Panos' one stop has benefited him in many ways. I don't know why I should have struggled to say that word today. I am stumbling on some other words today. I do apologise. It has been a really busy day at work, so you could take that as an excuse. .4 now is the gap. Mata still has the fastest lap. But there could be other people on the softs that will also be going for that fastest lap as well, which will give them 2 points. It's not like the regular Formula 1 where they get only just 2 points. And it doesn't matter where you are. So no one is able to beat Mata at the moment. So let me get the permutations once again. So Carl is second at the moment. Mata would need to win, be third or fourth. At the moment, Mata's third. And he also has fastest lap. And if Carl finishes second with fastest lap, only first will count him champion again. So Carl just needs fastest lap. That's what he needs. Which is going to be a tall order. Someone's gone off. Risky's in the pit, so I'm guessing he wants to go for fastest lap too. Well, I'm sure he would want to help his teammate, but there we go. Or maybe he wants to steal it from Mata potentially as well. Risky did get damaged, that's probably why. Gap now 3.1 seconds. So Kyle would be leading this race now on penalties because Panos got 3 seconds, Carl's got none. I don't know how many warnings Carl has got though, same with Mata. Because the penalties could make all the difference. 1:28.7. That's not quite enough for fastest lap at the moment. Look at that. Mata is a whole second almost faster than Kyle. I can see why he's gaining quite a bit. But that's insane. Mata's now 6 tenths behind Kyle. I wonder if Carl is saving all he has and all his fuel for the final lap. Because it's not going to be over until it's over. And I'm not going to crown the champion until someone gets the fastest lap that they need to. Pete gets past Akon up into 7th place. And as it stands, Team Yellow will be Constructors Champions because we've got Panos Blue first, Blue second, but we have M. Ryan and Risky down the bottom, so their other 2 drivers would have needed to score brilliantly in order for that to happen. Actually, I think Panos will be fair because Mata would be closing in on a range of knots too. I wonder if Carl has a Jeff. I wonder if Carl's going to be like, right, Carl, you got to push now. You got to get fastest lap. And I wonder if they know the permutations because I do. And if Carl finishes third, then Mata will need first, second or fourth, which he is. But let's see, Carl gets past Panos. I wonder if there's going to be team orders, which there are. I wonder if Panos is going to hold up Mata. Panos lets Mata through, so no team orders there. Mata almost got the move done on Kyle. This is championship contender versus championship contender at his finest. And even if it does get decided tonight, my oh my, we've been out with an absolute treat tonight. Two drivers that'll be giving it their all. And I wonder if they're going to do the same for the final race. I know it may not be the championship decider, but we would want to hope that there's loads of battles anyway. M. Ryan is up into ninth as he gets past Ahmed. Quite comfortably as well. Tony and Risky are having a battle of their own as well. But let's see, I did see a battle as well. Who was that? It was Ahmed, I think? No, it wasn't. It was just my imagination. But anyway, we got a lapped car. I believe that's Iceman. So Iceman moves out of the way anyway. And Carl's not going to get any DRS for fast lap at all, which is not ideal. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Mata, go for the lunge. This is key. No matter what happens, if Mata wins, he'll be champion, which will be easier for me to work out, at least. But we will see what happens then. Kyle goes to the left. They're going to challenge once again into turn 4. This is do or die moment for Kyle. Nobody can make any mistakes here as we go to the final few laps of this race. And more crucially, the moments that could decide the championship as they head towards the downhill section of turn 8. And heading towards turn 9 now. I wonder if Kyle is going to wait for the last possible moment. Mata has more ERS, Kyle does not. So really, it's advantage Mata at this stage. But no matter what happens tonight, Kyle almost had a tank slapper there that almost gave me a heart attack there. House is still going to be on for a good third place, which I have to say is really good. Be more points in the bag for him. Final lap then. It's hard to say VRS on the final lap, so like I said, for Kyle, it's a do or die at this stage. Here we go then, with Kyle then. He's a little bit too further back. The advantage that Matt is having is he's been able to use the DRS, whereas Kyle is not. So I think we're going to have a double champion. I think Kyle has probably accepted that. I don't think he's trying anymore. But I wonder if he's saved quite a bit for that moment, because they're all equal in ERS now. Mata has been pushing, so it's going to be even Stevens now. 9 tenths. Carl is almost out of DRS, which is not ideal. They got to nail that braking zone perfectly. Ahmed gets past Ryan, but that's not important right now. The important thing is we are possibly about to crown a champion, but it's not over till it's over. Carl could still take the lunge, but yeah, I think Mata is quicker today. Even though Kyle did a brilliant undercut, Mata was just setting fastest lap after fastest lap and did what he needed to do. So, let's have his moment. Let's go on the outboard shot with him. Mata comes across the line and he's your VSL Season 6 champion. He is a double champion. He won the championship last season and he's won it this season as well. Kyle did put up a valiant fight over Mata, but unfortunately was not enough. But I'm almost certain after that performance, Kyle will be in second position. Yeah, he will be in second position after tonight, so well done to him. Red Matt with a brilliant podium, which will jump him up in the standings. Panos in 4th, Brandon 5th, Pete 6th, Acorn after starting in the back. Actually, he started at the back actually. In 7th, Brandon had a good performance as well. Neil's in 8th, M. Ryan 9th, and Ahmed in 10th. And obviously everyone else would score points, but we still yet to see who gets fastest lap. It belongs to Mata at the moment. It's not going to belong to Tony because he's binned it. And Risky's doing donuts. It's not the final race. I don't know why he's doing donuts. It's not the final race. But he said he was good. He wanted to do it, so you know why not? Give him some camera time. Here he is. I'll go on an onboard shot as well. There he goes. But this man has done the job. This is his night tonight. He can go and celebrate with the champagne. He can have another trophy to his cabinet if he ever has a cabinet or anything like that. But I kind of wanted the championship to go down to next week, but I think Mata deserved it. He made all the right calls. Even though he didn't make the right calls in the pit stops, he made the right calls when it counted in the race. And what a time to do it. He's won the race and he's won the championship of the same week. That is crazy. And a German as well. I did say a German could win the race, and he won from pole as well. So, yes. So anyway, we'll get your results in very, very shortly now. Watch out for Twitter. There is going to be something nice put up as well to congratulate our champion. We make it 3 in a row next season. We will see. We will see. So, Mata wins. Your newly crowned champion. From Kyle, from Red Matt, from Panos, from Brandon, from Pete, from Acorn, from Niels, from M. Ryan, from Ahmed in 10th. Then we've got Tony and Risky. Your final finishers and your retirements are both Iceman and Newgarden. Both Iceman and Newgarden was unfortunately plagued by internet issues, which was out of their control, unfortunately. Hopefully, it will be sorted for next week. But it's not over. It is not over. Next week, we head to Bahrain Short. 100% race. I've commentated on many Bahrain Short races in the past. Actually, I've commentated only on one, but it was amazing. It was one of the best races I've ever commentated on, and I would probably remember for the rest of my life. So I'm sure next week it's going to be amazing. And I may have some surprises on my hands as well, but we'll find out. It may not happen, but I'll see if I can try and get those sorted. But anyway, I've been JessGames95. Well, hope you have a good evening. And for now, I'll leave you with the final words. Mata is the VSL Season 6 Drivers' Champion. And also, congratulations to Team Yellow. They're your Season 6 Teams Champions. So both champions are being crowned tonight. Have a good evening, everybody. And we will see you next week for the Bahrain Short Grand Prix. So we'll be in Bahrain for just a little bit longer. Good night.